So I woke up at 3 a.m. today. Um, and I've been sleeping. I've been waking up multiple times throughout the night. So I slept at 12. Because when I came back from work, I was not feeling sleepy. So I came back around what time? Yeah, around 9 p.m. So I was feeling awake. Like I could, as I said before, I could tell if I'm gonna sleep or not sometimes for the night. By the time I come back from work, if I'm feeling tired or sleepy or not, or I'm feeling awake. If I'm feeling awake, I know them. I know myself. I'm not gonna sleep well at night. Like there's this feeling, you could feel it. Um, so my sleep is kind of intermittent, right? Some days I sleep better than other days, and I could kind of predict which days, like early in the day I could predict which day I'm gonna sleep well or not. Like it's all about the feelings you have, right? Like sometimes even at work you'll be like, yeah, I feel kind of wide awake. I feel kind of alert, like too much alert, right? And this is what happens to me. I was feeling wide awake, too much alert. Um, so when I came home, I'm like, I'm not feeling even slight bit of drowsiness, not even slight bit of drowsiness. So I stayed up until 12, hoping that maybe at some point I'm gonna build up my sleep drive and be able to sleep. But no, at 12 o'clock, I was not feeling sleepy, but I still forced myself to sleep. Because if I know myself, if I don't force myself to sleep, I won't be able to sleep at all. I'll be awake all night and I won't be able to go back to sleep. Like, I won't be able to go to sleep at all. I forced myself to sleep, so I stayed in bed wide awake for maybe an hour or so. Maybe I slept at 1, woke up a few times from 1 until 3. Um, so pretty much maybe less than an hour of sleep I've got so far, maybe, or maybe an hour. I mean, you can't really predict accurately how much you slept, but I know it took me an hour to sleep. It always takes me an hour or so to fall asleep. If I'm not feeling drowsy or sleepy, it will take me an hour or so, or even two sometimes, 1 hour or two. So likely I slept maybe 1 hour or less, maybe a few minutes. But we could say from 2 hours or three. If you want to say three, you could say three as well. But I don't think it's exactly three. It's less. It's less than three because I don't fall asleep right away. That's for sure. Okay, but what I'm saying here is at 3 a.m. you start feeling panicky. At 3 a.m. you wake up at 3 a.m. I don't know. Every time I wake up at 3 a.m., I get like kind of panic attacks. There's something about this time, 3 a.m. I'm not really sure why. 3 a.m. is like the magic number for panic attack. So I woke up, I cannot tolerate. I felt like I can't breathe. Like I'm in a panic mode. I was not feeling well at all. So I have to wake up, make some tea. Not a caffeinated tea. It's the one to help me sleep. It's a sleep specialist tea. Um, Tea specifically made for sleep to help with the sleep and anxiety. you know I don't know, they don't really that they don't the teeth doesn't help that much, but at least I'm trying something. um yeah, sometimes I wake up, I drink milk or tea just to calm down. um yeah, like I almost called the ambulance, to be honest, because it's like my hand was sweating, I know, and I cannot breathe, and I feel like I'm dead. It's not like the feeling, like you feel you're dying. That's how you feel. That's the feeling that comes, like I'm dying. There's something wrong with me. Yeah. Anyway, so here I am, 4 a.m. something, or I think close to 5 now. I'm still not able to sleep. I'm probably gonna stay up all day. We'll see. Surprisingly, yesterday my sleep was better. Yesterday, um, I didn't do anything. Wasn't working at that time. No, I'm not really sure because I wasn't working. My sleep was better, but my smartwatch is telling me there was once something wrong with me yesterday when I was sleeping. It's telling me that my breathing rate was high, and even though I slept better than today, like I think I slept about 4 hours yesterday, close to 4 hours. Um, like the first few hours of the night, I was awake, like maybe up to 3 4 hours I was awake, but then after 3 hours in bed, I slept for 4 hours. Um, yeah, so 4 hours of sleep, and it was good sleep because my smartwatch was telling me that I had a restorative sleep. My heart rate was below the resting heart rate, and so I got a good score for my sleep for that for yesterday. But even though I got a good score, um, but my breathing was out of range for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know what that means. Why my breathing was out of range. It was a little higher than usual, so I was breathing faster, but my resting heart rate was a little higher also. So maybe that explains why my breathing um, was high. Um, but it was more than usual high. So I don't know. I think that the panic started. I think that's kind of an anxiety. I'm not really sure what it is. It could be anxiety or something, chemical imbalance somewhere. I mean, that means the problem started yesterday and it continued to today. So that's how it is. The night before, I didn't have any anxiety. Not this night, but the previous night. So 2 nights before. 2 nights before was okay. I slept okay. Maybe about 4 hours again, but everything was normal. All like breathing was normal. Everything was okay. So one day I had good sleep, 4 hours. That's considered good. Okay. Um, Next day also had 4 hours, but my and I had a good sleeping score because I had a restorative sleep, much better restorative sleep, but my breathing rate was not good. Today, barely I got an hour. So I don't know. I think like physical activity maybe because today I was working, right? Yeah, I was working. So maybe the physical activity kind of has something to do with some hormones that keeps you awake. And it's not just a physical activity, I think. um, but it could be also, what could it be? I also have tinnitus, so I noticed yesterday my tinnitus was flaring up. Like my tinnitus issue, or what some people say tinnitus. So my tinnitus is also intermittent, just like my sleep is intermittent. Sometimes it disappears, I don't feel it. Sometimes it comes back, and sometimes it becomes very strong, like very loud, loud as a fire alarm almost. Um, yeah, yeah, like yesterday, like today. I mean, today is. I noticed, like before I went to bed, it was I have tinnitus. I try not to pay attention to it, but um, and I don't know. And I was feeling awake, so maybe to do with the tinnitus and the reason why I couldn't sleep. Maybe I'm not really sure, but I try to ignore it. It's not like I'm paying attention to it, but it's yeah, I don't really pay attention to it. Like I feel at peace with it. I put myself at peace. But I don't know if chemically, I'm saying chemically, maybe psychologically, it doesn't bother me anymore, like the tinnitus psychologically, because I don't really care about it anymore. All I know is just it's there all the time, or sometimes disappears, sometimes comes back. I know it's like kind of you will eventually believe it's normal. It's just part of you, and kind of you accept it, right? But yeah, so like I kind of accepted that tinnitus, like it's part of me, it's normal. It doesn't bother me anymore. But I'm seeing a link, like when my tinnitus is there, my sleep is not good for some reason. Not all the time, of course. Sometimes I could sleep well even I have tinnitus. Like I could sleep very well even with the loud tinnitus. Sometimes, yeah, I could do that. I could sleep very well. So sometimes, so I don't know because it's an intermittent issue. You can't tell whether it's the tinnitus causing it or because, as I said, like sometimes I could sleep well with the tinnitus. So it may not be right. Just nothing is definitive. It's just an assumption. I'm saying maybe there could be something right flaring. Because with my tinnitus, I also have inflammation in my inner ear somehow. I don't know what's causing that inflammation yet. So my inner ear does have inflammation somehow. That's based on the MRI scans. It showed some inflammation in the inner ear. Markers markers of inflammation. Now, inflammation in the head may not be a good thing. Um, and that could be causing some chemical changes, maybe that's causing me to be awake. Alright. So maybe there's some chemical changes in my head due to this inflammation that is causing me to be awake. So when my tinnitus is flaring up, when my tinnitus become very loud or active, or when you could hear it. So when I could hear my tinnitus noise, when I could hear this noise, that means maybe the inflammation is flaring up. Could be that's what it could mean. And when this inflammation flares up, then I cannot sleep. Maybe this is some chemical changes happen in my head. Maybe some hormones, some changes that is dealing with the inflammation, which causes me to be awake. Um, this is one of my assumptions. I don't know for sure, 100%, but that could be the case. And I think maybe the physical activity could increase the level of inflammation, right? So like I walk around all day almost. This part of my job. So that physical activity could be increasing the inflammation or could make it worse, maybe, possibly. And so when if I'm not tired or exhausted, maybe I'm saying maybe my body could deal with the inflammation much better. So I don't know for sure. I don't know for a fact, but I'm just making assumptions here. I have to make some assumptions, and I could only confirm it over time once we discover what's going on with my head. Um, like it's not just my head now. Like my heart is also not functioning properly. Um, like because the lack of sleep, so it's throwing my heart rhythm off. The lack of sleep. So now we got two problems: inflammation in the head and heart problems. Um, and that could be causing making the problem even more worse. I don't know. And also have probably anxiety from that. Of course, I do have some anxiety. Some like there's no way you could stay awake and not have anxiety. You're gonna have anxiety. But I don't really think about it. I'm talking about the chemical anxiety, not the emotional, psychological one. There's the chemical, which is cortisol, right? Maybe I have some high cortisol level somehow. I try not to think about my issues. I try to just live in peace and say, okay, whatever happens, happens. If I die, I die, whatever. I try not to think about it because it's not in my control. If I could control it, I'll do something about it. If not, just accept it and live with it, you know. And that's how it is. That's how I have to deal with my problem. If there's something I can do, I'll do it. If not, I just have to accept it. The more I accept it, the more likely I will be in less pain, to be honest. Because if you try to fight something that you don't have control over, you're gonna suffer more. So that's why I don't try to fight it off. I try to accept it. That will reduce my suffering, right? Um, yeah. So if I don't have control, then I'm just gonna have to accept it, right? The way it is. If I don't sleep, I don't sleep. Well, because I know at some point, even the lack of sleep, I'm accepting it. I have to accept it because it's not under my control, right? So I try to say, well, if I don't sleep today, it's fine. At some point, I'm gonna sleep. Maybe in 2 days or 3 days, but I'm gonna sleep at some point. So I'm not gonna stress about it. I'm not gonna worry about it. Yeah, whenever it comes, let it come. I mean, sleep is supposed to be an automatic process. It's not something you have to force yourself to do it. It's it comes naturally eventually. Your body will eventually take over and you will fall asleep. Right? So I try to rest. All I can do is try to rest at night, lay down in bed. If sleep comes, it comes. It doesn't come, then be it. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Hormonal. There's probably some hormonal issues for sure. 100%. Because the lack of sleep does affect your hormones as well. So unfortunately, there's no cure for that except psychiatric medications. No doctor is willing to give you a hormone replacement. They will tell you take the psychiatric medications, it will balance your hormones. I think it's kind of bullshit. I don't know, in my opinion. Um, it may work for some people though. I don't know. It might balance because when your mood is good, you sleep better and your hormone may get balanced if it works for you. But it doesn't work for everybody, these psychiatric medications. So I think that they are refraining from giving us hormone replacement is a bad decision. Um, like these doctors, they should consider, like they should give us priority for the people with insomnia. We should get priority to get hormone replacement. Like we should be taken seriously. If someone doesn't sleep, you should look at their hormone, check their hormone every week even, um, and try to get it balanced. Like I know there's side effects of some hormone replacement. I'm not saying no, but if there's a way to mitigate the side effects, to lower these side effects, and just give the hormones that you need, and hopefully it could restart. You allow your body to restart balancing its own hormone levels. Like you have to do it very carefully though. The doctor has to be an expert. The doctor has to have some experience, not just willy nilly give you hormone replacement. Like they have to be careful and keep monitoring you, right? And maybe hopefully that will reduce the side effect of the hormone replacement. But I think for some people, hormone replacement will be better than psychiatric medications. For some, maybe, I don't know. I'm just thinking. Like in my case, if psychiatric medications don't work, then what's the other solution? Is to try hormone replacement, right? And hopefully that will balance my mood, balance my sleep hormones, um, because hormones are part of the circadian rhythm, right? So if I balance my hormones, maybe my circadian rhythm will be balanced. So hopefully there will be a solution at some point. I don't know, but I need to take some days off work. That's for sure. Like I don't know, but it's just very hard for some. Even for me, it's very hard because I have to pay bills and this. I have to worry about things. If I don't work, I don't know how I'm gonna support myself. And government assistance is probably not gonna cover all my expenses. So, and even if I go on government assistance, even if I manage to go on government assistance, I'm still not gonna be able to cover everything. But then it's gonna be a challenge even to go on government assistance. You have to go beg your doctor for some note to give you sick days off, some sick days or medical leave. So it's a challenge to even take a break from all of this. We'll see. Maybe I'll take some sick maybe I'll ask my doctor for medical leave and see if that will help me. Maybe I have to do it. Like because I feel kind of disabled to be honest. Like I'm not functional normal anymore, and there's no point for me to work. Like I'm not functioning well at work also. Even at work, I'm not to my 100% capacity. Like I cannot work optimally like other people. Other people could do a better job than me, right? So I have to not work. I have to do that until I get myself fixed. Once I get myself fixed, it's no problem. I could go back to work. But it doesn't make sense that I'm like it's like if you have a broken leg and you're still going to work, or if you're really sick and you're still going to work, you need to recover first, care about your health first, and then you go back to work, right? So yeah, because the more I work, the more the problem become worse. I'm not allowing myself time to heal. So it doesn't make sense that I continue going to work. It doesn't make sense because I'm not functioning while at work, and I'm not allowing myself time to heal. Yeah. So at some point I may do that. I may stop working. I know I'm gonna suffer from that, but hopefully it will get better. I don't know. I noticed something also, like when I woke up at 3 a.m., I start to feel chill feeling in my body, like cold feeling, and I'm not really sure, in my chest and in my hand. So I don't know if that's the cortisol, high cortisol level, makes you feel chill feeling in your chest and your hand. Yeah, it's like this kind of chill, coldness. Um, I don't know, it's a hormone or cortisol. I don't know what hormone makes you feel like that. I don't know, but I'm getting this feeling too sometimes. Sometimes.